besties, welcome or welcome back. Today, we're making gorgeous winter DIY home decor. I cannot wait to show you, so let's get started right now. For this DIY, I'm using this adorable little sled I got at the Target dollar spot for $5. I am also going to use these evergreen picks that I got on Amazon, and they are such a great deal. And then these are some Dollar Tree picks or pieces from a pick, as are the next ones I'm going to show you with the frosted and the little snowballs on them. And then I've got these little pine cones. I think I got those at Dollar Tree too. Now I'm going to sand around every possible edge on this, and you can see here now, including the back, because I wanted to give it a bit of a distressed look. But I am going to dry brush it with white everywhere that I have sanded, and then a little bit in all the other spots as well. And I think that just makes it look like it has a little bit of snow on it, and that's what I wanted. Now here it is, all distressed, and I love the way it looks. Next, I'm going to take these 3 evergreen picks and see exactly how wide they should be to fit on my sled. And I use a little bit of jute twine and tie the 3 together so that they hold in place while I work on them. And then I'll just cut off the extra twine. I'm going to take those Dollar Tree picks and position them where I want them and hot glue them on. Now this is something that you can completely customize to your own style, whatever you have on hand, and so it doesn't have to look just like this if you decide to recreate it. This is just the way I thought it looked good. So just some inspiration. Once I get all 3 or 4 of those pieces on, I'm ready to move on to the other little picks, and I'm just going to, like I said, put them wherever I think they would look good, and I'm using hot glue to attach them. Next, I'm going to place my little pine cones, and I love these little pine cones. They are so cute, and they're already a little bit flocked, but I will do more later. Now I've got these snowballs that a friend gifted me, and I'm going to place them just kind of randomly all around, and then I'm going to take my little baby snowballs, and I'm going to also place them wherever, because I want it to look like snow has just fallen all over this little swag. Now I'm going to take my linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to flock everything, and look at that. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I love it. Now I'm going to figure out where exactly I'm going to attach it on the sled. I know I want it up high because I want you to still be able to see most of the sled and the snowflake. Before I attach that with hot glue, I'm going to get my little bow maker out, and I'm going to use about 4 or 5 different ribbons that I think will look really pretty with this. And I'm just going to use my bow maker and wrap it around back and forth until I get a big full bow worth of ribbon. Once I have all the ribbon on, I'm going to take a black zip tie, put it underneath the middle, and then I'm going to pull it, but not super tight, until I remove it from the bow maker. And then I'll trim off that little excess piece on the zip tie. And then I'm going to wrap a piece of that really pretty black ribbon with the silver squirrely things on it. Just going to wrap a little piece around the center to cover the zip tie and make it look like it has a nice little pretty center. I'm just going to hot glue that right on there. I'm going to dovetail the ends of every single ribbon that's hanging down. And now I'm going to go ahead and attach my little swag to the very top of the sled using a generous amount of hot glue and holding it for a while. I'm also going to hot glue my bow right there on top of that swag, and then I fluffed it again and kind of did a little tweaking, and there is the bow. And then on the back in the holes, I had removed some jute twine. I'm going to add some white mop head strand because it matches, and I'm going to tie a couple knots and attach it to both sides. You guys, I love how this turned out. It's so pretty. I found this really cool standing type of a sign at the Goodwill, and I got this for $2.99. I'm going to use my heat tool that I got at Amazon to melt off some of that adhesive and get rid of those tags. Next, I'm going to sand the whole thing just so it's a little bit easier to paint, even though I am going to use chalk paint. And of course, I'll use my Ladybug vacuum to clean up all the little dust from sanding. Now I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to cover the entire thing, every single part of it. Then after it's painted, and I did do about 2 coats, I'm going to take that little square and just trace out a square shape and some really cute scrapbook paper that I got at Hobby Lobby. And this is going to be a 2-sided sign, so it's like 2 DIYs kind of for the price of 1. And I'm going to cut out some pieces of each of those scrapbook papers because each side will be different. And I'm just going to create sort of like a border around what's going to be a smaller square. So I'm just measuring that out right now. And then I'm going to cut each of those pieces for the front and back of my sign. If you are enjoying this video, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like button. I am going to use my glue stick from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cover it generously, and I'm going to put the pieces one on each side, and then I'm going to use that open white square for something else. I'm going to use my brayer from Amazon. I'm just going to make sure that each of those pieces of scrapbook paper are really adhering to the sign. Next, I'm going to take a nail file. You could use any kind of sandpaper, and I'm just going to go around all the edges and clean up any excess little pieces of scrapbook paper, and it comes right off and cleans it up. Then I got these dowels at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to measure. I'm going to put dowels around that inner white square and then around the entire thing. I'm going to use my miter shears from Amazon. Super easy to cut with these. It's no pressure at all. I'm just going to measure and do this for both sides. And then I'm going to use hot glue, and I'm going to adhere them to both the front and the back. Now off camera, I do the rest of it. I'm only showing you a little bit of this because there's no need to see the same thing over and over. And now I'm just repeating this on the back. Now, I somehow didn't have my camera on. When I put the word Hello Winter, all I did was looked at a picture, used my pencil, wrote it on there, and then used a jot marker from the Dollar Tree and went over it. It's all handwritten. Now I turned it over and I got this snowflake ornament from the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is cut it right down the middle and then separate it. And I'm going to put some words in between. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. This was very easy to cut with scissors, and so I just was able to do that. Now what I'm going to do is figure out the exact placement I want, and then I'm going to hot glue them right on top of this other side of the sign. Now in that space between is where I'm going to put the words, but first I want to make two lines. So I'm going to take a little ruler, and with a pencil first I'm going to draw the lines where I want them, one right below the top half of the snowflake and one right above the bottom half of the snowflake. And then I'll take a jot marker and I will go ahead and darken those and make them, obviously more visible with the marker. Now I am going to touch up anything that I messed up with those lines with my white paint, and that way the lines look nice and crisp. And then I'm going to take my jot marker and I'm just going to freehand let it snow. I am looking at a picture. I'm trying to do like a Rae Dunn font. I don't know if I accomplished that, but I'm happy with it. And then I'm going to use some of the white paint, and I'm going to touch up wherever I feel like the letters got too close or just didn't look right. And then I'm going to go back, and if I need to touch it up again with the black marker, I'll just do that until it looks just the way I want it. And then I'm going to make my little dots bigger. I'm really loving this sign. I love the winter decor. Let me know what you think. Ready for a very easy DIY. I've got this little, I think it's a beer flight board. I got it at Target Dollar Spot for $5. Took off the little leather handle or tie, and I'm going to paint the whole thing front and back and the sides with the white chalk paint from Rust-Oleum, the linen white. And when that is done, then I'm going to use a white hanger instead that I had left over from another project, and I'll just add that to the top. Then for the O, I'm going to do the word snow. I'm going to use that white piece of a snowflake, and then this little wood cutout of a snowflake, and then I have a little silver one, and these are all different things that came from different places, and I just decided to put them together, and I thought that layering effect looked really cute. Then I have some stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to spell out the S, N, and the W, but I'm going to lay some Mod Podge down first so it's a nice smooth surface. Inside those circles it was kind of rough, so I'm just going to do that to make sure that the letters have something nice to stick to. And then I'll cover each letter with Mod Podge as well. And then to finish this off, I have two bells that I got last year from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to take that little silver tie that's on each one and feed it through the hole and then tie them together. And I'm going to hot glue them in place on the back and the front. And what a cute little snow sign with the bells. I absolutely love it. Talk about an easy DIY. this DIY, I've got this little sign from, I think it's the Dollar Tree, it says Believe, a little ornament, reindeer head, snowflakes, bottle brush trees, and a foam wreath, and then that white towel from the automotive section. I'm going to use my white chalk paint, and I'm going to paint all around those words, and then use this brushed metal gold paint from Folk Art to paint over the top. I just didn't like exactly the way that gold looked that was on there. I'm going to change it again anyway. And then I'm going to flock all three of these trees and get them ready to place on the wreath when we make it. And I'm going to layer my little snowflakes. I cut out the center of that white one, and you see it on the left there. I'm going to end up putting it on the back so it shows through. And I just thought that made it look even cuter. And then I'm going to take off those red berries, and I'm going to put some silver on his little bell, and then I'm going to flock his little wreath around his neck, or what, garland around his neck. Now I'm going to take my foam wreath form and my little white towel, and I'm going to cut some slits in the middle, and I'm going to start hot gluing it, but I end up cutting a lot of this off until I can wrap it. I don't want it to be super bulky and bumpy, which is hard to do. I could have done strips, but then it frays really bad, so I was trying to minimize the amount of fraying that would be kind of on an open end. So I'm just going to let you watch as I cut and tuck and glue until I get it all covered. If you enjoy making DIY crafts on a budget, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. There it is. I think it looks pretty good on the front. Now I'm going to make a hanger before I add anything else to it. I'm going to take some of this mop head, and I'm going to cut a piece, and I'm just going to hot glue it right at the top where I've decided the top is. I'm going to hot glue each of the ends, and then I'm going to cut a couple pieces of the faux leather from Dollar Tree and just hot glue a little like rectangle piece to the end though, so that they don't kind of start fraying apart, because the mop heads do tend to do that. And plus it's white, and I think it looks nice, and it kind of finishes it off. What I'm going to do is turn it over, and I'm going to put my little snowflakes up towards the kind of right upper side. I'm just going to hot glue that. It sticks really well to that towel. Then I'm going to start putting my little trees. I'm going to have to hold it up because I want them standing up in the center like a little scene. So once I figure that out, I will hot glue those down, and they stay really well next to each other because of the bottle brush aspect. They kind of intertwine a little bit. Then I'm going to take my reindeer ornament head, and I'm going to put him on the inside like a profile, and I think that looks super cute. Now I put the third tree on, and then I took it off because it was going to be blocked by my sign, so I kind of put it towards the back in between the two trees, so you just see it poking up. Now I'm going to take my Believe sign, because I still wasn't happy with it. I'm going to put Mod Podge all over that, and I'm going to put some silver glitter on it, and I think that just does the trick. Makes it look very snowy and festive, and I'm not a big glitter fan, but I do think that's what this one needed. So once I get that all on there, I'm going to paint the back white because I hadn't done that yet. And now I'm going to figure out the placement on the front of my wreath, and I'm going to attach some more of that mop head to it with a really good strong amount of hot glue. And I'm going to put a little more of that faux leather over each of those ends to hold it in place. And then I'm going to put the sign on with hot glue, and it stays very well, but I have another way I'm going to secure it, and I'll show you that in just 1 minute here. Okay, turn the wreath over, and I'm going to take the remaining part of the strand of the mop head, and I'm going to glue it all the way up to where the hanger is, and that just really secures that sign. So I'm super happy with this, you guys. It's so cute. I hope you like it. Found this basket at a thrift store. It's super cute and very farmhouse, but I'm not into the color so much, so I'm going to clean it up with my crud cutter. And then I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the entire basket. And I'm just using a chippy brush because it's hard to paint these baskets anyway, so I might as well not ruin a good brush. And then I've got this, I want to call it like a placemat or something from Hobby Lobby. I honestly don't remember what it is. It's bigger than a placemat, but I really love it. It's so pretty with the black and white and gray, and it's so farmhouse looking. And what I'm going to do is kind of position it inside of the basket so that I can fold the edges towards the inside underneath, and then I'm going to hot glue it right to the rim around the inside. And then when I get to the two sides, I'm going to kind of pull out the corners a little and then fold it back into the basket and then hot glue and then let it hang over. I know that sounds confusing, so I'm leaving a lot of this in so you can watch what I'm doing and see how I'm securing it and folding it. You could do this any way you want. Honestly, whatever looks good to you. This is what looked good to me, and I really love it. I think it's just so cute. What I love about this basket is that you can use it for, decor with florals or greenery in it, or you could actually put things in it. You could use it like a picnic basket or whatever you want. You could just like display other home decor items in it. I love the versatility of it, and I'm going to use it as a centerpiece, and I'm going to add some beautiful winter greenery, which you will see at the end. And I absolutely love it. It just looks so good on my table. I got this nautical rope at the Dollar Tree. I love the cream color. It actually matches the tassels on the end of this fabric piece. It's a 3-strand cord, and I removed one, so it's only 2-strand right now. What I'm going to do is hot glue the end, and I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm just going to tuck it under on the other end and glue it again, and that will just be a nice place to hold it. I absolutely love how this turned out. I'm so pleased with it. Let me know what you think. Something similar to this on Pinterest. I knew I had to make it my own version. So I've got these 3 pieces of scrap wood. I did cut them with my jigsaw off camera. Now they have these holes in them, and I could use wood filler, but I have this little trick where I put a piece of tape on the back and then I fill it with hot glue, and when it dries, I just sand off that little bump. It works so well. Anyway, I'm going to sand them all with my sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to paint all 3 of these pieces. And now I'm showing you where the glue was filled, and you can barely even notice it. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. Now I'm going to take a little nail file from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go around every edge of these 3 pieces, and I just love the way that distresses. It's just like the perfect amount, and it's just a natural looking distress, like they're worn, and I just love that look so much. Now they are all done. Don't they look great with that? I love that technique. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is I have a little base for them. It's just a little piece from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to sand that down, and then I'm going to also paint it with the Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, but I'm going to very lightly dry brush over the top. I am going to go around the edges a teeny bit heavier. You can kind of see how it looks. It's just enough. I didn't want it to be solid white like the rest. I wanted a little contrast. I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to go ahead and attach all 3 of these pieces of wood. They are now my candles, by the way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and hold it till the hot glue sets up, and then I can let go and the E6000 will eventually dry. And I'm going to do that with all 3 of my candle pieces. And now you can see how they look on there. I'm going to grab some little greeneries that I got on Amazon. I'm just going to take 2 pieces. They're like little evergreens. I'm going to snip off the extra piece on the end there because I don't need that much. And I'm going to figure out exactly how wide I want them to be by placing them up against the candles. I'm going to get some jute twine and be ready to tie them together. Now that I have them where I want them, I'm just going to wrap the jute twine around several times, tie a knot, wrap it again, tie another knot, and then trim off the excess pieces. I like doing that because it just holds it together, and it also gives you a nice place to glue something for the center if you want to. Next, I'm going to take my chalk paint again, and I'm going to flock this greenery. I love doing this because I love that the green still pokes through, but you just get it kind of on the edges, and I go all the way around every part of it. Doesn't that look pretty? Now I'm going to place it on the front of my 3 candles right on that base, and I'm going to use hot glue, a lot of hot glue, and then I'm going to hold it in place because sometimes if you don't with something like this, it doesn't fully attach because the greenery is not a solid piece, but there it is. Now I'm going to take a mop head, you can tell I've used this one quite a bit, and I'm going to pull out a strand, and then I'm going to cut 3 little pieces, but first I'm going to hot glue kind of the pieces that are loose because I want them to stay together for this. So then I'm going to cut 3 pieces, and these are going to become my candle wicks. So I'm going to glue both ends of them make a little point on the one end that's like the top of the flame, and then I'm going to use an Arteza paint marker. I think it's the lemon yellow paint marker. You'll see it here in a second. And I'm going to paint most of this little candle wick with the yellow, and just a little bit on the bottom will still be white where it hasn't burned yet, if you will. There's the marker, and here I am painting right on top. I thought this was a cute way to create a flame without a flame. I'm going to do 3 of these, and then I'm going to attach them directly to the top middle of each candle, like I am right here with the hot glue, and just kind of make sure they're facing upward. And then I've got my cute little candle wicks. Oh my gosh, it looks so adorable. Ignore those little ornaments on there. I took them off. I did not like it. Instead, I'm using these pine cones. I'm going to flock them. I'm going to put 5 pine cones on there, 1 larger one, and then a bunch of little ones around it. I wanted to keep this a little more rustic, and those little ornaments just glammed it up too much. I love this one, you guys. It's very simple, not a lot of embellishments, but just enough. This little candle holder is from the thrift store, and I think I got it for 99 cents. I took my Rust-Oleum white linen chalk paint and I decided to cover the entire thing, inside, outside, everything. I'm going to use my Waverly ink chalk paint and a little makeup sponge, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the sponge and wipe most of it off, and then I'm going to kind of touch around the edges and basically just distress it. And once I get all of the edges done, I'm going to go over the rest of it very lightly, but especially around what looks like those little flower shapes around the sides. I'm going to try to get those edges because I think that will really look good. And I actually love the way this is turning out. It's just a nice piece to accent my winter decor, but honestly, you could use this year round. I am excited when I can do something that is that versatile. This is such an easy project, and I'm sure you can find something like this at a thrift store. I'm going to use these little teeny LED votive candles from the Dollar Tree, and I have a little glass kind of container that holds them. I'm going to use a piece of double-sided sticky foam. I'm going to put it on the bottom of the little glass candle holder. I'm going to put that inside because I don't want it moving around because it wouldn't sit still. I tried it without. Then I'm going to add my candle, turn it on, and this is beautiful. It's hard to see in these pictures, but it really looks nice with the little openings on the side. You can see the light shining through, and I love it. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. You are a blessing to me. If you enjoyed this video, I've got another one on the screen that I know you will really like, so go ahead and click on that, and I will see you there. Bye.